Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Easy Peasy Vocab. Today we are going to learn about modifiers. In the first image, you can see the road and a beautiful sunset. Crossing the road, the sun had started to set. Did the sun cross the road? What do you think? That is not possible, right? So how do I change this sentence? Crossing the road, I noticed the sun had started to set, which makes sense, right? Here, crossing the road is the modifier, and we'll see what a modifier is in the next slide. In the second image, you can see school going kids. They do have backpacks. The students who go to my school are hardworking. Here, what is the verb in this sentence? The subject noun would be students, right? So, what is the verb? Go is the verb. Who is the adverb because it is describing the verb go. What does an adverb do? It modifies a verb, an adjective, or another adverb, right? To my school is a prepositional phrase. To is the preposition, my is the possessive pronoun adjective, and school is the object of the preposition. So this phrase, who go to my school, is the modifier. Now let's see what a modifier is. A modifier describes or provides extra information about something else in a sentence. Note, it is not part of the core sentence. Do you know what are the parts of the core sentence? The subject, noun, and the verb, right? Subject and the predicate. We have already talked about the patterns, sentence patterns. You can go and watch in my playlist called Sentence Patterns. Although modifiers can be as simple as a single word, like an adjective or an adverb, GMAT and other advanced sentences which are necessary for the competitive exams often have several complex modifiers. Modifiers are the most difficult topics in GMAT sentence correction. And this topic is beneficial for any competitive exam. Note, all prepositional phrases are modifiers. Let's see an example. In the image, you can see a boy lying down. Tired out from playing basketball, Lucas decided to take a nap. The modifier tired out from playing basketball describes the noun. So, what is the noun here? Lucas, right? The boy, Lucas. So, this modifier is describing the noun Lucas. It also provides additional information as to why Lucas decided to take a nap. Why did he take a nap? Because he was tired, right? He was tired out from playing basketball. Many modifiers answer the questions who, what, when, where, or why. So you have adjective modifiers, adverbial modifiers. We'll see that in the later part. Opening modifiers or warm-ups. If a sentence begins with a modifier or warm-up followed by a comma, the thing being described should come directly after the comma. Otherwise, the meaning of the sentence would be absurd and sometimes hilarious too. Let's see an example and you'll understand it much better. In the image, you can see the garbage waste or trash, right? In the landfill. Full of tons of trash. The mayor suggested that a new landfill be built. So you said full of tons of trash. What is that? It is an opening modifier or a warm up. So immediately after that, you have a subject. What is the subject there? The mayor. So, are you talking about the mayor here? If I ask a question, what's full of trash? Your answer would be the mayor. If this is your sentence. Is that right? Absolutely not. Unintentionally, you can make such mistakes. So, one should take utmost care while using modifiers. So, how do we correct this? Now, let's try to correct it. full of tons of trash, the landfill was cited by the mayor as sorely in need of expansion. So, here, what is the subject? What are you talking about? Full of tons of trash is nothing but the landfill there, right? It is not the mayor. It's going to change the complete meaning of the sentence. Let's see the next example. Hiking through the woods. My backpack was stolen by bears. So, in the image, you can see a girl and a bear with backpacks. Does a bear have a backpack? No, right? Something is fishy here. Let's see what's happening. So, hiking through the woods, my backpack was stolen by bears. So, I'll ask you a question here. Who's hiking? Because you have the warm up, hiking through the woods, and there's a subject immediately after that. My backpack. Is your backpack hiking? This is really funny. Can a backpack hike? How is it even possible? Now let's try to correct this. Hiking through the woods, I had my backpack stolen by bears. So here the subject noun pronoun I. That means who is the subject there? I is the subject. Hiking through the woods. So what is being described? That means I am hiking through the woods, not my backpack. Understood? So hiking through the woods, I had my backpack stolen by bears. That, who, when, and where have some rules that needs to be followed. The first one, don't use that or which for people. What do we use for people? We say who, right? Use when only for time and use where only for places. Let's see a few examples. Young professionals that go to business school hope to increase their salary prospects. Here, that go to business school is kind of correct, but grammatically it is not right. And for the competitive exams, each and everything is like very important, right? So you can't use that there. Young professionals who go to business school hope to increase their salary prospects. The second one, Algebra 2 was where I learned to factor. Is Algebra 2 a place? As you're telling where. Where is used only for places, right? So how can you say Algebra 2? Algebra 2 is a subtopic in math and it is not a place. So you can mention a room number. You can change it in two ways. Either mention a room number or you can tell that Algebra 2 was the class. So it is telling the place. Algebra 2 in room 201 was where I learned to factor. This is also right. And the other one, Algebra 2 was the class in which I learned to factor is also right. Summary of what we have learned till now. Prepositional phrases. Prepositional phrases are always modifiers. They can modify nouns, verbs, or other words in a sentence. Opening modifiers. So what are opening modifiers also called? We learnt about it, right? Warm-ups. Opening modifiers or warm-ups, they start off sentences by providing information about something and the relevant noun must be placed just after the comma. Otherwise, the meaning of the sentence will completely change and it will become absurd. Who is always used to refer to people. That and whose can refer to people sometimes or other types of nouns. When refers to time and where refers to place. Modifier placement errors. there are three types of errors when it comes to the placement of modifiers. One is misplaced modifiers, two is squinting modifiers, and three is dangling modifiers. Let's see the first one. Misplaced modifiers. A modifier should be placed directly before or after what it modifies. Otherwise, it creates a misplaced modifier which can confuse the reader or create an absurd sentence, like the first sentence which we saw, full of tons of trash, the mayor. Right? We had to change that into the landfill instead of mayor, right? Let's see another example here. In the image, you can see a girl clicking a picture of an elephant. Grace took a picture of an elephant in her pajamas. So, the phrase in her pajamas is a propositional phrase, right? Yes, it is. So, this phrase is just right after the noun elephant. And it means, what does it mean? What do you think? Because this phrase is just right after the noun. That means it is describing the noun, right? So, is the elephant wearing the pajamas? No, it's not possible. How can an elephant wear pajama? So, how do we correct this sentence? It can be done by placing the modifier right next to the subject Grace. Right? Because in her pajamas is describing Grace and not elephant. While Grace was in her pajamas, she took a picture of an elephant. And now this makes complete sense and it is grammatically correct. Because in her pajamas is describing Grace. The next one is squinting modifiers. What does this mean? A word or phrase that could modify either the word that comes before it or the word that comes after it. This can create confusion and make your writing unclear. Let's see an example so that you can understand it much better. In the visual, you can see a man running. Runners who slow down briefly restore their energy. So here briefly is the modifier. Now you tell me, so what is briefly describing or modifying? Is it modifying slow down or restore? It is unclear, right? Because briefly is placed in between slow down and restore. So it's very confusing whether it is describing slow down or restore. And such sentences are said to be having squinting modifiers. That means your writing is very unclear. This sentence can be corrected in two ways. The modifier can come either before slowdown, so that it is describing or modifying slowdown, or it can come after restore their energy. Let's change it and see if it makes sense. Runners who briefly slow down restore their energy. That means runners who slow down for a bit, they can restore their energy. That is the meaning there. The second one, runners who slow down restore their energy briefly. Here, runners who slow down restore their energy briefly means briefly is describing restore their energy, right? Understood? The next one is dangling modifiers. Dangling modifiers happen when the subject being modified is not present in the sentence. You don't have the subject in the sentence. So in the image, you can see it is written permission to leave school early. Okay, let's see the sentence. What is it about? To leave school early, a parent's note is needed. It is a generalized statement. So who is leaving school and who needs a note? What is the modifier in this sentence? To leave school early, right? Does it have a subject? It's not having any subject. So how do we correct this sentence? To leave school early, students need a note from their parent. So here what will be the subject? It is students, because we added the subject students to the sentence, and this sentence will no longer have a dangling modifier. If you don't have the subject, it becomes dangling modifier. Because you have the subject, this is a complete sentence without any dangling modifier. Understood? Thank you so much for watching. Please do like, share, subscribe and comment for more videos. Thank you so much.